And we're live. Let's first find out if we have sound in the chat. Hopefully we do. If we don't, we'll have to end it. But because
I do.
What's that?
I heard you in the chat.
Oh, you did hear me? Okay, fantastic. Yep. All right, good. Hey, Headless Horseman. Nice to see you back. I won't ever touch my computer screen again. My bad. Apparently, the microphone hates that shit. But what I was attempting to show you, hey, Robert Nozawa, what I was attempting to show you guys was a picture that the wife and I picked out when we were on one of our getaway weekends. Don't ask me for details. It was our anniversary, but our anniversary is in February. And you know what? Everything sucks in Michigan in February. So you got to hunt for fun. Anyway, so what I was showing you was the Eiffel Tower, which Mel had mentioned she got to visit at least the first floor of when she was on her incredible European vacation as a wonderful thought of her childhood memories. And that's one thing that she picked out. So that leads me to the following question, which I was trying to get into as I got off the painting that's on the wall, is that I was asking Mel, and Mel, I'm asking you now. So I was curious as to when you started to wake up and what really kind of got you into the movement of researching truth. Did it start off with something like aliens, or did it originate from something like vaccines that harm kids, or did the whole Trump thing wake you up? I mean, what was your genesis to the truth?
That's a good question. I can tell you that it started with James, actually. So I do know that much.
James Rohrbach. You're talking about James Rohrbach.
Yes, sir.
And how long ago was that, roughly?
Toward the end of last year. I mean, it probably started before then, honestly, but I don't know, maybe I guess I just started listening a little bit more towards the end of last year.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get it. That's where it starts for all of us, right, Mel? That's where it starts for everybody, is that we start listening.
Right. He's going to love that. And then it was about New Year's, I think it may have even been New Year's Eve, that it all just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, holy cow, how do you just walk around all normal, like every day, knowing everything that you know?
You had
Sorry. What?
You had an aha moment, like an aha. I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm really sorry. You were saying that how do you walk around? How are you normal, knowing what you know as the truth? Did you have an aha moment? And again, I apologize for cutting you off. That was just horrible.
No worries. No, I was going to say, not only knowing what you know, but more so knowing that so much of what you thought you knew was a lie, or is a lie. And that's rough. So yeah, I had a little bit of a panic attack. I'm like, oh man, okay, but
no doubt.
I calmed down a little bit, and yeah, just I have the ability to have earbuds in my ears or whatever all the time for the most part, unless I really need to concentrate.
Yeah.
And so I just have videos going all the time.
And you are just on fire for the truth.
Yeah, I am.
And how do you determine to yourself what you're listening to is credible? And do you listen to things that also are not credible? And how do you decipher between them?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I'm probably still figuring some of that out.
Okay.
And it takes me a while because I give people a good little while. Even if I feel like I have questions, a lot of it has to do with whether they can support what they're saying. I'm not good with someone coming out and saying, here's this, and here's this. And they have no support for it.
Sure.
Which, if you watched my videos, that's why I did them that way, because I didn't want to just come out with a claim, hey, there's this intentional plan, and, they're infiltrating, or they've infiltrated all of these different areas. And I wanted to say, if I'm going to say that, I want to show some proof for each of those realms, how it goes back in history and how this has been developing.
Yeah.
I mean, at least to our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s,
Yeah.
history-wise.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a big thing for me. People need to support their claims.
Then they need to support their what? Their claims?
Support their claims.
Yes, they do. They do. And when you were speaking with James, were you aware of like the Q movement at the time, or did you learn about Q? Or let me ask you this: are you aware of Q?
I am aware of Q, and no, before James introduced me to Q, I did not know anything about Q.
James introduced you to Q.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. He's all right. He does all right.
No, he's a super, super great cat. I like James a lot. He's a really, really good cat.
He's a good cat.
I agree.
We'll keep him around.
I agree. He's got a pure heart, and it's easy to look at people that try to come in and listen, we all don't know each other, but
right.
I know a lot of these people. In fact, I would pretty much vouch for everybody in this chat, to tell you the truth. I don't know who I couldn't, except for that Brian Rosenberg, that mother. No, and I like Brian too. But all right, so you got introduced to Q. You did you start looking at some of like the Q drops, or was there a channel that you kind of grasped onto that maybe told you about the Q drops, or how the information was being disseminated? How did your awakening continue and bloom?
That's a good question. I don't remember a whole lot of details, so thanks for that. No, I'm just kidding.
MK Ultra.
Who would I? I have listened to people who decode Q. Who is? Oh, I'm horrible with names. I'm so sorry. Who am I thinking of? Bill, come on.
Oh, Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah. How did you know?
I figured it was Gilbert Godfrey. I just had a hunch. Am I wrong? I don't know who you're thinking of.
Oh,
yeah.
Some Serial Brain.
I like him.
In there, but
I like that channel.
Yeah.
What's it called? And we know.
And we know.
Know. Tell everybody the channel And We Know. Tell everybody what the channel And We Know. Why is that largely popular, Mel? If you could answer that, why is And We Know largely popular?
I don't know if I can answer that. You're going to have to answer that one.
Well, you kind of alluded to it, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that.
Because of the Q drops? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, because you would actually, it's not me, you had actually specifically mentioned Serial Brain, and I happen to be a fan of Serial Brain. Even if it's a quagmire of stretching theories and stuff. I mean, there's some realm and some form of life where gematria is a real thing. There are reasons that things line up the way they do. Maybe not super explainable. We understand that Washington, D.C. is lined up and measured out precisely into the form of a pentagram. If you draw it out how it's supposed to be, there are all these nuances that are beyond the comprehension of people that just don't think about the shit. So, so that's kind of more so to the point I was making. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I will say that much of what he says is really way above my head. And, you know, I was explaining to someone the other day that I know that I don't catch everything, even with all of these videos I'm watching throughout the day, because I'm not really watching them, I'm listening to them, and I'm doing my work, or I'm with my kids or whatever.
Sure.
And so I know that I'm not catching everything, but I'm catching what I can, right? I'm catching everything that I can. And so I'm just absorbing as much as I can as I go. But I do love Red Pill 78. I do love Black Conservative Patriot.
Yeah.
Those are two of my favorites.
Yeah, and you know what's great about those channels is I think they do a lot of the same things that are in the channels that I love. And that's that they kind of put it all together and put it out there in a way that is like, A, do I believe it? And because I do believe it, because it's non-negotiable, can I interpret it and actually say to myself, can I go against the grain and actually think that these atrocities that are being committed against the world, against humanity, against people, children, all of us, can this actually be true? And the sad answer in all of this is yes. Unfortunately, it's all true. And the people that you said that you just listened to, they are absolutely worthy of saying, yes, you know what, these people deliver truth. They do the same as the channels that I watch and I listen to. And that should shake everybody that's not awake. I mean, the reality of the things that are happening. Anyway, you know, I could go on and on. Those are two great channels, though, that you lifted up. That was, they're good. They're very good.
You know, I also really love watching the hearings in the Senate and the House. I love watching those.
Interesting. What was your what do you love most about them?
Well, number one, I love the fact that I'm getting to see what's actually happening, not the report from someone else about what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? About what some senator said or what some representative said.
Yeah.
I like being informed as to, oh yeah, I can watch, I can watch Schiff, for example, stomp all over what he should be doing.
Yeah.
And, and I can watch others stand up and speak for it and fight for it. And I used to not do that. I used to, when new names would come on the scene,
sure.
Like, for example, when primaries were coming up and new people would be popping up and people would say, oh, I like this guy from this, this state or whatever.
Right.
I wouldn't necessarily know those people or know much about them.
Yeah.
And now, I can look to some of those and go, oh, yeah, I can see some future presidential possibilities here.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And what's funny is I think what you're talking about is like after the Trump election, you're talking about the midterm election, which was a great race. But that started to kind of expose these different districts. And when you lay out a map and you look at America and you see how much red there is, it's not that people, listen, I am a firm believer that if Trump would have ran independent or ran as a Democrat, I would have voted for Trump. I didn't vote Democrat. I didn't vote Republican. I voted Trump. I believed what that man had to say, and the way that I see, to your point, Mel, is that when issues were put before the Senate Judiciary Committee, like Brett Kavanaugh, I saw the viciousness and the sheer panic within that Judiciary Committee of the Democrats that absolutely didn't. They crucified this man who is not perfect. Nobody claims that a judge is
Right.
perfect, but they rake this dude over the coals. And you know what? I'll never, ever, out of all of them, I'll never forgive Kamala Harris ever
Oh, yeah.
for the piece of trash she was through this whole thing. Amongst the list of all the complete trash Democrats, Cory Booker, Mr. Eyebrows, Mr. Hi, just believe me. I mean, this fool, this guy's a fool. Elizabeth Warren is a fool. Dianne Feinstein is a fool. And it took Lindsey Graham like finding his testicles finally. And I like the guy, but I mean, he went into a new gear when he lost his temper and got pissed. Wow, that was must see TV. But I love that stuff too, Mel. I love looking at that and watching that, and hearing these people do that shit. That's great stuff.
Well, and it's amazing to also live in an age where we have the video clips. We can go back and we can compare what these people have said,
True.
in the past decades.
True.
To what they're saying now, or not. You don't even have to go back decades to have, for example, them contradicting themselves about the wall, right?
True.
But certainly about the impeachment
100%.
hearings and all that. It's just, and it's amazing to me that they can sit there or stand there with a straight face and say these things.
Yes.
And just know everybody's going to accept this because I said it. So, like, really?
That's right. And we've been engineered. We've been engineered to believe that. Yes, you are correct.
Right.
That's one of the things. And you said you're relatively kind of new, but it's one of the things, a mantra, if you will, of my channel. And I ripped it off from somebody sometime years ago, but it's not my saying. But they said that it's television is called programming because it's programming you. You are going to stand by for your regularly scheduled programming. They are programming the people, and it's through witchcraft. It's through all this stuff, whatever they believe in. Now, listen, I don't think that it's like voodoo witchcraft over a television stuff, but you can put the narrative out there, and when you have all of the mainstream news organizations that are owned by 6 companies, and they set the narrative every day. It's called the Mockingbird media, right? The 4 a.m. talking points. They all come out and say the same stuff every day. There are factions of Fox News, for whatever reason, that we will never maybe be able to understand. When this is all said and done, there were pockets of truth that were allowed to be aired on Fox News as we go through all of this. And that was like the people on the 5, like Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld, who are totally in control of what's going on, to Lou Dobbs, to Jesse Waters, independently on his own show, but to Hannity. Hannity is a goofball. He's a goofball. But you know what? He's actually, the shit that comes out of his mouth is true. It's like, and he loves knowing the fact that he knows that it's true. And Laura Ingraham is cool too. Go on. Go ahead.
And you look at the fact that, how often does Trump actually go on to Hannity's show, right?
Yeah.
How often does he call in? He trusts Hannity. That speaks volumes. So I just real quick, Brian Griffin has made a couple of really good points in the chat that I
tell me. Yeah, I'm horrible about reading chat. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, so the first thing he said, the Bible says that this world is ruled by the wicked one, so I could expect no less on the news. And, that's true. I think I've always known that, evil exists and that we are born into a sinful world. But at least for the last several years, decade or more, I've known that we are capable of the worst of things. Every one of us. I am capable of the worst of things. And so,
Really?
so yeah, I just did not realize. Oh, you're buffering. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just, just the depth of the evil out there. He was also talking about the programming, and I knew that there were intentional movements. I knew that there were intentional agendas, but I did not realize how many places they infiltrated, right? And even you talking about the programming.
Yeah.
I would have absolutely agreed that there was an agenda, that it was intentional, that there was long-term plans, or that there were long-term plans, but I didn't see how big it was. I didn't see how widespread and how it just infiltrates into literally everything.
Well, you know why that is, right? You know why it's infiltrated into everything. It's a direct result from Marxism. And it led in.
It's good marketing.
No, you're right also. But the reason that you're talking about it in this kind of way is that it's matter of factly leaked itself in throughout the educational system. It's also, to nobody's surprise, leaked itself through the entire media corporations. And it's all part of the plan of Marxism, which develops into socialism. And I've given this history lesson a few times. But the difference, as you went through into World War II, before you had the United Nations, you had the League of Nations out of World War I. But it was all about, it was the early planted seeds of developing a central bank system that tied the world into a central bank system, eventually a world bank system, where the companies that lended the quote unquote money were no part of the governments. They just simply were the vehicle to create money from whatever wealth they wanted to back it with. When it got into the 1970s, that became oil. That's when the petrodollar was created. And from there, it's just increased. Now we're getting to the point where we are so far in debt that we can't take another breath, and we have to basically go on to a new monetary system. And that, I believe, also is part of the plan of Q. Because if you've been listening, if you've been watching, the hints and everything that I'm talking about has been put out there. They are ready to fire the federal the Federal Reserve, which is not any part of the government. They're going to restore the wealth back to the Treasury. That's my opinion. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's amazing at how much Trump has been able to accomplish in the short time he's been in. But it's also amazing how much there is to accomplish. So we very much do need that additional 4 years.
Yeah.
It's just a ton. He is working like a dog. That man does not stop. He does not quit.
It's true.
And it's impressive.
It is impressive. I mean, he is a freaking bulldog. And I would not want to work for the man, but not because I don't respect him. But I wouldn't want to work for that guy. That dude's taking back the world. What's that?
Oh, no, he'll work you into the ground.
Oh, geez. It's not even a question. This man would kill you. Work for Donald Trump. But that's what makes him incredible. And he is operating right now under the very best of circumstances for his demeanor, for who he is, to have the world beckoning to his every call. The fortunate part of this is that he's kind of a moral guy outside of some of his earlier escapades with women. I mean, he loves women. Who can't respect that? Who doesn't love women? What kind of fairy dust smoking, sniffing, panty wear? Women are beautiful. I'm sorry. Women are beautiful. They just are. And that was by
I thought
design. Go ahead, Mel.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I can't remember what meeting he was in the other day, or what what press conference they were doing, but was it the Young Black Americans or?
Oh
I don't
yeah,
remember,
yes, that was fantastic. Yeah. Yes,
yeah, and he told the one he said, oh, you know, I'll get in trouble for saying this. I'm not supposed to say this, but you know, she is, or you are, you know, I can't remember if he was referring to her, talking to her, you know, and called her a beautiful woman, and like,
he did.
You know,
He
you know,
called and
yeah. He's not being creepy. He's not smelling her hair. You know, he's not.
He did.
You know,
I know.
massaging, you know, her shoulders. He's just saying she's beautiful.
Absolutely. Creepy Joe Biden, man, has got that on lockdown. He loves touching the shoulders and sniffing their hair, and it's terrible. And he did. And what I love about Trump is he goes, I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it, is that I think she's beautiful too. You know, it'll get me in trouble. It'll get me in trouble. But I think she's beautiful too.
Yeah, no, I love it.
He's a great president.
He's not being, you know, he's not being a creepy old man, you know. So
absolutely not.
He's being genuinely.
He's a good guy.
You know, he's being a gentleman in that way. So.
All right. Well, Mel, Miss Mel Monty, I'd so much appreciate you coming on this live stream. Right now, we're at 29 minutes and 40 seconds. So no pressure, but I would say we'll make this a 30-minute stream on the call. Is there anything that you want to lay out there, or, you know, is there any kind of cause that you're working for, or is there anything that you want to get out there, or do you want to tell people, I mean, how'd you find the channels that we see you in? Any of this? What do you want to say? Anything?
You know, I hate to sound like a broken record, but again, James introduced me to a ton of the people I listen to now.
That's fantastic.
I just kind of, you know, stumbled upon some others, but yeah, I have to say thank you, James.
Yeah. Well, he's good. He's good. He's great people. He's great people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as far as,
I have a lot,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. My bad.
I have a lot of, I'm a bit opinionated, so, you know, I have a lot of things that I think I'll probably be talking about on my channel.
Sure.
And they won't all be as in-depth and as long as the series that I just did. That was quite a bit. But,
well, you went big on your first topic. I'll give you that.
I did.
You're like,
I did, but
you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I had actually already prepared that presentation for my work team, so that's why I gave it first.
Okay.
I had not planned on doing it on YouTube. But then,
that's how most of my nights end, when I'm praying, that I didn't mean for that to go on YouTube. But it's a great elixir, and I've met some great people doing it. Stick with your instincts, kid. It's good. You're doing great, Mel.
Oh, thank you. And I totally appreciate, and I've told you this already, but from my first viewing of your show, you just have this great way of making people laugh, making people comfortable, and bringing the truth as well. So I appreciate that.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that too. I didn't expect that. Thank you. It's a lot of fun waking up people. You know what? It's the most action I get in my life is trying to stay in front of the truth. You know what I mean? It's like there ain't a better movie script out there that can take me away from what I'm learning by going through this great awakening. And I love it. And I am thankful for, one, to meet tremendous, absolutely beautiful patriots, and people like yourself also, Mel.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Do you want to say anything to the show before we leave, or shall we arrivederci?
I mean, I haven't been hanging out with you guys for all that long, but you guys have been so welcoming. This is just a phenomenal group of people. You're all amazing. So I appreciate it, and I love the videos that are posted by some. I love the live streams. I just love hearing from all of you guys. So, and such a supportive group. Amazing people.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Wow. Well said. Thank you. We see you in the chat too. We see you. We see when you comment. We all got you. Welcome to the family. Guys, Mel Monte. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Because she's gonna rattle some trees and shake some people in her delivery. It's very good. And I'm honored and happy to have interviewed you, Mel. And I am happy to consider you and call you a friend. So we will talk soon. Thank you so much for coming on. And last word is yours.
Oh, no, just thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll be hanging out in the chat.
Okay, absolutely. Thanks, Mel. Have a great night.
Thank you. Yes, you too.
All right, hon. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Mel Monte. How good was that? How good was she? She's great. I don't know a ton about her, but I did spend a little time just talking to her and stuff, throughout the last day or two. And yeah, give her a chance. She's great. Great person. And thanks for coming on, Mel. And I saw so many of you in Robert Wallace's channel, and what a great core network of people. I mean, it actually is awesome. I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate it because you're sacrificing your time and coming here, but you're meeting all of each other too. You guys are awesome. Everybody knows each other. You guys are like, you awesome? Yeah. You? Yeah. We're good. Yeah. We're good. We're good. We're good. And maybe I'll catch up in the chat a second. I thought maybe I could get into a rant. You know what? I probably can, but it's going to cost you guys one beer because Mel done wore my palate out. I plan on being done, but I'll be done soon, but I'll be right back too. What's up? I ain't never touching this or this again. Man, turn that around. The whole thing went done. That was weird. That was cray cray. Speaking of cray cray, where's KK? Is she working? She might be. All right. Okay. You guys, yes. Yeah, Shaq. Man, I think that would be cool. We love hearing from people. What's up, KK? There you are. James just called me. Well, my phone ain't on my hip, so let me see what's going on. God, I can't stay up too late tonight. I definitely have to get some sleep. Well, some bitch, you did. All right, James Rohrbach. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. He's got some info.
What up, brother?
Hello, man.
Hey.
What's going on?
Oh, man, not much.
Not much?
Yeah, chilling at home. I gotta work tomorrow.
Yeah,
Get be up too late.
I got you. I saw you called. I thought maybe you had some breaking news.
No, well, I sent you a link. Have you heard of Octo Memes?
Mm-mm.
It's a YouTube channel. They make kind of red pill joke memes. It's kind of very familiar with United Spot.
I got you.
Anyway, Octo Memes.
So I'll look for
They
that.
did have you seen the Trump Zalta video?
Maybe, dude. I mean, maybe. I don't honestly know. I mean, I might have seen it, but I don't think. Oh, is that where the one they're talking about now where he shoots everybody?
No, it's
Oh.
called Trump Zalta. It's like a pill. And they're like, do you suffer from TDS?
Yeah, a lot of people do. That's for real.
Trump derangement system.
Hey, dude, are you by your drum set?
I don't have a drum set.
Oh. All right, my bad. My bad. I don't know why I thought you had a drum set. I thought you did. But do. All right, I got you. So everything else good in your world, brother?
Yeah, man.
Is there anything I should be asking you right now that I'm not?
Oh, I don't know. Gold and silver?
Well, we could talk a little gold and silver. I love them. I'm an advocate. I love them. You love them?
I know you're all good.
Mm-hmm. I've met my stacking goals, man. I've met my stacking goals, and I'm just sitting on it. It's like I'm at the point now where like shit's either got to go up or, I'll just sit on it and give it to my grandkids one day, I guess.
Yeah, it's only gonna go up. But if anybody's really interested in gold or silver,
listen up.
And but there's a membership raffle going on right now that they could get in on. There's 15 spots for I think $24 a spot, but it's a $350 membership.
Yeah. So it's a membership.
For
People.
a year.
So it's a membership fee. They get in. They get like really good deals on precious metals.
Yeah, wholesale pricing.
Okay.
Beautiful stuff. So
yeah. Well, what? Hit me with the website. What's the website for anybody that wants to check it out?
Well, so I was signed up through the company through a gal named Erin Moffat, and that's her channel.
Yeah.
But she actually signed up Red Pill 78.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's in my downline. He's like an associate with me.
Okay, that's good.
Same company. And also Edward G. Griffin.
Yeah. Creature from Jekyll Island.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, he's also with the company.
I'm hip.
So it's a great company to be with.
Sure.
And if anybody won that, they'd be signed up under me.
Okay. So you guys heard that. If you want any additional information, send me a text or something, guys, and I'll get in contact with James. No problem. Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
and I've got a website too if anybody wants to
Sure.
see it.
Yeah, what is that?
They
Go
can
ahead.
check it out. Well, it's basically 7K Metals / Holy Grail, but I'll have to like look it up.
Why don't you drop why don't you drop it in the live chat, man?
Hold on, let me put you on speaker.
All right.
All right. Yeah, no, it's
So put it in the live chat, James.
right.
And then they can just click on it and then they're good to go. Good to go. Everything else good in your world, man?
No, it's okay. I mean, work's a little sporadic, but you know, it is what it is. You know, God's still going to provide. So,
I got you. Do you need references, dude? I'll write you a reference if you need one.
up in the Seattle area.
Sure. Yeah. I definitely remember the winter of 2013 when I worked in Seattle. And James Rohrbach worked for me and he was a fucking savage. Yeah, dude, I'll write you something. Sure. Why not?
Well,
Like people call and check that shit. They don't check that shit. It's all about your interview, dude. It's all about when you're sitting in front of them. Don't worry about your past or your lack of a past or any of that. Just leave that shit out and put on your tap shoes and get a job. Hmm?
I don't know if you've seen the pictures of me at the top of trees, but you know.
That was you?
Yeah, man. I've slain a couple trees. I typically just drop them from the ground, but I climbed a few and yeah.
Yeah.
Some
So
big ones.
good. Well, I'm going to tell you what, James. We're all going to put you on our nightly prayer list, and we're just going to pray for any deficiencies that you have. Like, we're going to pray for that for everybody. So we're going to do that for each other going forward, and I'm going to start doing that every night. And I know some of you are just incredibly awesome and actually do that. But you know what? It's not.
Hey, I think that's a great idea, man. And I honestly,
Yeah.
I want to say thank you. I'm in too.
Yeah,
So,
for sure, man. Start making the list. Start including the people in this channel in the chat, and obviously those people that are within your life, even those that can't really, can't quite make that turn to understand the truth. Let's just pray for ultra wisdom or just a completely unleashing of just remove the calluses from everybody's eyes and their ears and because it's going on. That's very frustrating to know that this is all happening and like the amount of information that you have and the truth and stuff. Like shit shouldn't be hard when you have this kind of truth, right? But it is. And we got to get through it.
And it's so good to gather together
Mm-hmm.
in prayer.
I agree.
Man, I really am happy you said that. I'm very, I want to encourage that.
That's great, man. That's great.
Well, God bless you, man. I'll talk to you another time.
Yeah, soon. We'll talk soon, James. I appreciate it. And I'm going to wrap up the live stream as soon as I hang up with you because it's getting late, man. I gotta feed my temple some sleep. It wants to look at the back of my eyelids. It's begging me.
All right, brother.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.
God bless you.
Don't forget to pray.
Okay.
I tell everybody that. All right, have a good night. God bless you.
You too, bro.
Thanks, man. See it. So there's that. So there's that. Yeah, I do believe in that. I believe in that. You know, I'm a good sinner. I'm a good sinner. I try to be measured. I try to be tempered as best I can. Um, you know, I know shit's bigger than me. I know that the world's bigger than me. I know that there's a creation, there's a creator. I believe that. And I'm along for the ride and apparently doing live YouTube videos, which I'm pretty sure when I was in the womb, God didn't see that coming. But maybe he did. Maybe he was like, yeah, I know you're going to do this one day. Go. So I don't know. I guess that's my release. That's my ability to get shit off my chest, which I appreciate a lot. And yeah, so that's that. Anyway, I want to thank Mel Monte for coming on tonight and trusting that her information would be handled with, that everybody be cool with it and not judge and not any of that. And of course, I didn't think so. So everything was fantastic. I want to thank James Rohrbach, who got a big shout out from Mel. That James was a huge part of her awakening. There's probably stories like that with many of you in either one way or another. But, it's the seeds that we plant. And they can be bad seeds. You could be a shitbird and plant really bad shit in people. Or you can plant great things. You could be the Johnny Appleseed of great news. And plant that great news into people and say, listen, I know things feel down, but everything is on the up. And you don't have to hear any of the cue or any of that kind of stuff. You just have to know that things are going to get better. And that really is the message of what's going on with the Great Awakening, the trusting the plan, all of this. It's about the conditions of the world getting better. And they are. This Chinese trade deal that Trump just signed for phase one. It's phase one. We're going through phase one. Listen to me. It's huge. They're buying more agriculture from us. Trump told them that they have to get bigger tractors just because it was such an overwhelming amount of food that they're going to purchase from our farmers. That's going to be the lifeblood, you guys, of America. That and factories, but it's pumping out that food. And you know what? We live in America. We want America pumping out that food. Why? We want it close to home. Let's encourage our beautiful, enriched lands all through the Midwest that are just ripe for growing the biggest ass crops of all the food. And let's pray for California to pull their head out of their ass. No offense, Mr. Robert Wallace. It's not you, man. I know. But let's just, because that is a humongous growing area. It's something ridiculous, like 90 or 95% of the agriculture that comes out of California is sold in America. We like get it from the California basin. So let's just pray that we can get a Republican in there or something, please. Either way, in the end, I don't think it'll matter. All right. I'm looking at the clock. It's super late. I'm sorry. I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. I love you guys, and I do mean that. And you guys stay cool. Be cool. And I'll see you the next time I'm looking at you. So there's that. Some of you knew that was coming. Anyway, you guys be cool. I'll see you on the flip side.